Chairwoman, members of the board, Karen Foley, Councilor Asabi George's office would like to echo the sentiments of Councilor Edwards and oppose this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ambassador, can you call on a couple of people who've called in and a couple of other residents?
Excuse me, Madam Chair. This is Dave from City Councilor at Large Michelle Wu's office. We'd also like to go on record in opposition.
Thank you.
Okay, and caller 617-909, you've been unmuted. User 105.
I'm curious, I've heard you today have many people have to come back in the future, and I don't know which way this vote is going to go, but...
I just need to ask, put your name and address on the record, and we're talking about 437 Frankfurt Street. So tell us if you're in support or in opposition.
In opposition, and I apologize, I've been listening all day. I should have known to give my name and address.
What's your name and address? Sorry.
Vera Caducci, 2 Swift Terrace. And again, just curious if these people could be held to the standard of being checked in if this ever does go forward. While we appreciate it going from 9 to 4 and all the changes, if you lived in the neighborhood, what really happened is they would have said anything and everything to get this done. And I don't know, it's been a total flim flam, and I don't know if people can be believed, and it would be nice to check in on them later.
This is where the decision gets made, so thank you for hanging on. Can I hear from 2 more people, please, Jessica?
Sure. I know Melanie's been waiting for a while. Melanie, you've been unmuted.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Melanie Roach-Latoka, and I'm a butter residing at 447 Frankfurt Street, and my wife, Megan, is also here. We're both strongly opposed to the project, and the overwhelming majority of the community is opposed to the project. And
just tell us the reason for your opposition.
Yep, so we have 30 signatures, physical signatures from direct abutters.
Tell us the reason for the opposition.
Our first reason is we're opposed on the basis of the developer having no substantial hardships, which he has stated at a previous abutters meeting. The population density, the developer rented out one of the properties, the property that he purchased that goes along with this land. And the the guys that he rented it out to have caused significant noise, significant issues in the neighborhood. And quite frankly, we're worried that that's going to happen in the new house.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. Ms. Ambassador, can I hear from another caller?
Sure. Joni DiMarzo.
Me?
Yep. Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and board members. My name is Joni DiMarzo. I'm a direct abutter at 435 Frankfurt Street. I have lived here for most of my life, 27 years, and my mother and I are lifelong residents of East Boston. I'm in opposition of this project due to the negative impacts it has on my family as well as the neighborhood. And I do, for the record, want to mention that this project started in 2019 with 9 units and 11 bedrooms. And what happened was the units were merged into one. So there was two bedrooms merged into 1 4-bedroom. So the word units has been fabricated. The size is the same. The population.
Okay, thank you. So thank you. So board members, given all this information, may I have a motion, please? And information comes in also through chat. Thank you for sharing it with all panelists, but may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to deny without prejudice.
I'm going to second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's been denied without prejudice.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 106-9837, 159 to 165 Everett Street. This is to combine lots to create one lot, raise the existing building and erect a 7-unit residential dwelling with roof decks and parking for 8 vehicles. The violations, Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking is insufficient. Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking requirements, design, maneuver, and area. Article 53, Section 57, traffic visibility across the corner lot. Article 27T-5, it's in the East Boston iPod. Article 53, Section 8, the use is forbidden. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient additional lot area per unit. Article 53, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 53, Section 9, the number of allowed stories has been exceeded. Article 53, Section 9, the maximum allowed height has been exceeded. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient open space per unit. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient rear yard setback. And Article 53, Section 9, location of the main entrance. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Richard Lins, 245 Sumner Street, East Boston, on behalf of the petitioner. Madam Chair, we're back before the board on rediscussion. We did pretty much have a full hearing on this testimony. There was a question relative to the maneuverability and the parking. We were asked to provide an updated diagram as well as address the design of the doors. If we could jump to the screen that has the updated plan for parking, I can have David Freed, who is the project architect, explain how the parking would work with respect to this project.
And to confirm, it is 7 units with 8 parking spaces.
That's correct.
And is there a roof deck? There is roof deck.
There is a roof deck. We did modify the project to eliminate head houses as well. And again, I believe the board took testimony with support from the councilor, the mayor's office, and Jeffreys-Port Neighborhood Association.
Okay, so
outstanding question was the parking.
So please, let's get to it.
I'm not seeing on the screen the. Can let you know which slide. Just keep going.
It's A1.1, I think is what you want.
Yeah, it's coming up already. So Mr. Ehrlich had raised some questions about the hatched areas in the front portion of this, and it was unclear as to whether or not that was considered an obstruction which would interfere with the access. Mr. Freed went ahead and clarified this, as well as showing the maneuverability into the garage. So we do propose a total of 8 spaces. They are all tandem, and they would be assigned based upon the unit, the specific unit that acquires the parking. So if Mr. Freed wants to go ahead and explain how the parking works, to clarify that this, based upon the calculations, works from a maneuverability standpoint.
Yes, hi, my name is David Freed. I am a project manager at Shoe & Company. All four sets of tandem spaces, each car can independently maneuver in and out of their tandem space without impact or being blocked by the other spaces. And as you can see from the dashed lines showing the direction of the vehicle exiting, that they can bypass each car without and egress through the garage without impacting the adjacent cars.
I think Mr. Ehrlich's concern was that vehicles would not be able to pull out in the 2 far ends, the left and right, without impacting the ones in the middle, based upon those hash marks. But the purpose of those hash marks, from what I understand, is to delineate an area that no parking would be allowed. So it is open and accessible. It's just not included as part of the parking.
You know, it also is dependent on a very large curb cut, 24 feet.
We've also evaluated that, Mr. Ehrlich, and Mr. Freed has examined the maximum curb cut that would be permitted. You can have, based upon the number of vehicles that are being parked on the site, is our understanding that 24 feet is the maximum. Anything beyond that requires PIC approval. And certainly we would have no issue going before PIC if there's any request or requirement for that curb cut.
Well, no, I'm not talking about expanding it. I'm talking about limiting it.
Limiting it, yeah.
I mean, you can't, based on the drawings that are here and the maneuverability, you need all 24 feet in order to get out. That's just, you know, that's, every time you go beyond a 12-foot or 10 or 12-foot standard curb cut, you're removing parking spaces as well as creating off-street parking.
Right. So one of the other things that we did, Mr. Ehrlich, in connection with this project, there is on the Houghton Court side, there was an additional access point curb cut into the site. That's being eliminated and closed up. So we're actually, you know, I would say, for lack of a better term, moving from Houghton Court to Everett Street for the one curb cut.
Net zero?
You say potato.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
Yeah, the other on you said you moved from the head house to the hatch. On A22, the elevation, I'm not quite clear what that drawing is showing. It looks like a head house still. Well, actually, I don't know what it is.
I think, and Mr. Freed can explain this as well. In order to comply, this is a little bit of a different take on the building code requirements, Mr. Ehrlich. It does continue to allow for access, but the area, and I'll let David Freed explain this, the area that is required under the code is actually at the third level. So we want to jump back to that elevation. We can talk quickly about that.
Okay, is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Lina Tramelli with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We would like to go on the record in support. During the committee process, this proposal received strong support from Abares and Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Ricardo Petro from the Office of City Councilor Lydia Edwards. The council would also like to go on the record in support.
Madam Chair, we have 2 raised hands.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Chris, you've been unmuted.
Good afternoon. I'm Christopher Thornton. I'm 155 Everett Street, directly abutting. So I have a handful of concerns. That no abutters meeting. Only notification I got from this was finding a flyer 3 months ago. And this today. Plenty of the directly abutting neighbors are in opposition, but being a longtime resident, they're age, and they don't know how to join a Zoom or a WebEx meeting. So plenty of opposition directly about neighbors. I have concerns about density. We're going from a essentially married couple.
Mr. Thornton, can you speed up, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And just give us bullet points. So your concern is density, your concern is outreach, anything else?
Yes, ma'am. Off-street parking as well. Looking at that diagram, nothing, at least seeing has changed from the previous meeting.
Okay, thank you. May I hear from Patricia, please?
You've been unmuted. Hi, Patricia.
Okay, given that information, may I have a motion, please?
To approve it, BPA design review.
Second.
Devolve.
All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 102-7055, 655 Saratoga Street. This is a change of art from a retail space to 4 residential units in retail space. Construct a new 2-story addition with roof deck above the existing first floor footprint and the renovation to the existing garage. The violation is Article 27T-5. It's in the East Boston iPod. Article 53, Section 8, a multifamily dwelling use is forbidden. Article 53, Section 52, roof structure restriction. Article 53, Section 56, off-street parking is insufficient. Article 53, Section 9, the floor area ratio is excessive. Article 53, Section 9, the building height is excessive in stories. Article 53, Section 9, the building height is excessive in feet. Article 53, Section 9, the front yard's insufficient. Article 53, Section 9, the side yard is insufficient. Article 53, Section 9, the rear yard's insufficient. And Article 9, Section 2 is a change in a non-conforming use. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Matt Eckel with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. With me today is Eric Zackerson, the project architect. As mentioned, we're seeking to change the occupancy from a commercial space, Saratoga convenience store, to a commercial space and 4 condominium units with 5 parking spaces. Also to add that 2-story addition. The existing use, as you can see on page 3, is that Saratoga convenience store. Also, as you move down Curtis Street, there are 6 individual garage bays. That includes 6 continuous, I should say, 1 long continuous curb cut to access those 6 garage bays. So along with trying to change the occupancy to maintain the store and add 4 condominium units, we're closing that curb cut to allow access for 5 interior parking spaces for condominium units. So by doing so, we would add 2 parking spaces back to the street. In terms of the floor plan, as I mentioned, we're seeking to maintain the Saratoga convenience store. That was the first thing, and the thing we heard the most often was please keep that store, do not eliminate
So
that.
Mike, can you move on and tell us what the bedroom sizes are, the units, the bedroom count and the unit sizes, and then move on to the roof deck?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. So yes, the first floor will be the 5 parking spaces in the convenience store. As you move up to the second story, unit 1 will be 1,190 square feet. That would be a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit. Unit 2 would be just over 1,000 square feet at 1,030. That'll be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit. On the third floor will be units 3 and 4. Unit 3 will be 1,150 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And unit 4 will be smaller because we do have a 15-foot rear pullback. That'll be a 750 square foot, 1-bed, 1-bath unit. Both units 3 and 4 will have exclusive access to their own roof deck, and those will be accessed via hatch.
Okay, thank you. How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich? Mark? How are the plans?
Sorry, once again, I had muted myself. The drawings are fine.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Lina Tramelli with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We would like to go on the record in support. The Office of Neighborhood Services held 2 abutters meeting where the applicant addressed several of the concerns expressed during the community process. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Ricardo Patron from the Office of City Councilor Lydia Edwards. The council would like to leave this proposal at the discretion of the board.
Thank you.
Madam Chief Secretary here, we have numerous letters of support and numerous letters of opposition.
Any raised hands, Ms. Ambassador?
Madam Chair, there are no raised hands.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve BPDA design review.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair, could I add, could we add signage review as part of the BPDA review, please?
That will be included, yes. So there's a motion.
Let's take focus on that if possible.
Okay, so there's approval with BPDA design review. There was a motion. Was there a second?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Jeff, also look at signage.
Yeah, I'll make a note of it.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, calling BOA 110-6912, 243 Princeton Street. This is seeking to combine parcels to form one new lot with 5,000 square foot lot to be known as 243 Princeton Street. This would be 7 units and 9 parking spaces. The violations, Article 10, Section 1, limitation of parking area. Article 77T-5, this is in the East Boston iPod. Article 53, Section 56, insufficient parking. Article 53, Section 56.5A, clear maneuvering area. Article 53, Section 8, Your MFR is forbidden. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient lot area per unit. Article 53, Section 9, excessive FAR. Article 53, Section 9, insufficient open space. And Article 53, Section 9, insufficient rear yard setback. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano with that business address of 11 Beacon Street. Here representing the developer, Al Legee, and the architect, David Joy, should be with us. I'm going to try to be very brief. I also just want to point out that the plans through community process have changed and the description has changed. We are now seeking and will reflect in the plans to combine the two lots, raise the existing structure, and erect 7 residential condominium units with 7 associated parking spaces. In doing so, we also took off the 4th floor of the building and eliminated a number of violations, height and stories, height and feet, front yard, to name a few, as well as removing all roof decks in the building. This particular zoning district is a 3F 2000. Just to go over the layout, our first floor would be our main entrance to the building.
So Counselor, can you give us the bedroom count, the square feet, and tell us about how parking will work in there?
Sure. So our first floor has the main entrance with 7 parking spaces interior. Those would go 1 for each unit. Those are legitimate spaces. Those aren't tandem spaces. We also have an ADA accessible unit on the ground level with 2 entrances, one on the side through a 5-foot passageway, as well as the main entrance in the building. That would be unit 1, and that would be a 2-bedroom, 1 bath at 1,000 square feet. As we go up to the second floor, we have 3 units. Those are all 2 bedrooms, 1,000, 1,000, and 1,110 square feet. And our third floor mirrors the exact layout of the second floor, 1,000, 1,000, and 1,110 square feet, Madam Chair. We've taken off the roof decks and the 4th floor, so we are below the 31 feet at our height.
How are the plans, Mr. Ehrlich?
The drawings are adequate.
Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. Lina Tramelli, with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We would like to go on the record in support. The applicant worked close with the community and addressed most of the concerns, reducing the number of units from 9 to 7, number of stories from 4 to 3, and remove the roof decks. We received 19 letters of support from abutters, including 2 direct abutters. Thank you.
Hello, Madam Chair and members of the board. Ricardo Patron from the Office of City Councilor Lydia Edwards. The council would also like to go on the record in support.
Okay, Madam Chair, we have a hand raised. Luigi, go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm Luigi Natali from Senator Joseph Boncore's office, and he is in full support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dino. I appreciate it.
May I have a motion, please?
You too, man.
Motion to approve BPDA design review.
Is there a second?
Second, Tyrone.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Before we go to the last case, can I ask all board members to hang around after we close the meeting, okay? So do not hang up. Okay, last case, sorry. Mr. Fortune.
Sure, calling the last case, calling BOA 109-8736, 14 to 20 West Broadway. This is an interior renovation of existing second-floor restaurant, shell space, construct a new tenant, separate walls, and change the proposed occupancy to include 4 units consisting of 2 studios, 2 one-bedroom units. Change occupancy from 49 residential units, restaurant, retail, parking, to 53 residential units, restaurant, retail, and parking. The violations, Article 68, Section 8, insufficient additional lot area per unit, Article 68, Section 33, off-street parking and loading requirement, and Article 68, Section 8, dimensional regulations, insufficient open space per unit. Name and address for the record.
Madam Chair.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Moranci, just real quick, Madam Chair, just for the record, this is another appeal where updated plans have been submitted. They have not yet been approved by the plans examiner.
Thank you.
Mr. Ehrlich aware of that.
And I'll explain that. This is George Moranci. I'm the attorney for the project. I have a business address of 350 West Broadway. The only update to the plans has nothing to do with the 4 units in question. There's a room outside on the second floor that was mislabeled. Mr. Ehrlich was chairing when this hearing was first heard. That was mislabeled on the initial plans as a bike room. It was a media room, and that was very important to the residents there. They didn't like the fact that it was misidentified as not being their media room. Has nothing to do with the change of occupancy. I simply wanted to get that updated as a courtesy to the unit owners. There was some amount of resentment. They didn't like the fact that it was called the bike room, but it's irrelevant to the proposal. The existing plans can be used.
Mr. Moranci, tell us what's proposed.
Certainly. So this is I represent Fraser Capital First, my client, and one of its principals, John Driscoll. They own the 3,275 square foot commercial unit on the second floor of this building, 14 West Broadway condominium in South Boston. This appeal is seeking to convert that second floor commercial space into 4 dwelling units. The matter was deferred in November in order to allow for a continued and better dialogue between representatives of the unit owners, myself and my client. This building was approved back in 2015. It contains 49 dwelling units in addition to first and second floor commercial units. This particular unit was purchased by my client in 2019. The building had been approved for a restaurant. It was initially envisioned that it would be a bike.
Mr. Moranci, you can tell I'm getting weary. Can you tell us the sizes of the
Certainly. So the second story commercial space would be converted into 4 units consisting of 2 studios of 515 and 550 square feet, a 1-bedroom unit of 944 square feet, and a 1,266 square foot unit, which is currently programmed as a 2-bedroom, but might become a 1-bedroom. My client has not made a final decision. The violations are insufficient usable open space, as well as insufficient lot size for the additional dwelling unit. It's important to note there's no creation of any new gross floor area here, really merely a repurposing of what already exists. There's also a violation.
Yeah, tell us about the parking.
There's also
relief, right?
Yeah, also a violation owing to the fact that no off-street parking can be created, but the site is directly across the street from the MBTA's Broadway Red Line station. Otherwise, there are 89 parking spaces in the building according to the certificate of occupancy. I do have to point out with respect to parking that the number of people living in these 4 units would quite likely be anywhere from 5 to 8 people. By comparison, the legal occupancy load of this space, if it were to remain commercial, would be much greater. An office use could have 33 occupants, a fitness center, for example, could have 66, and if it were in fact used as...
Hold on, Counselor, hold on. Mr. Ehrlich, you have the plans. Any questions from the board? Is anybody here to speak in support of this proposal?
Yeah, just to be clear, I don't have the plans.
But Mr. Moranci just updated it that it was nomenclature change. Is anybody here to speak in support?
Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Anna Calderon from Councilor Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support a true community process with neighbors that include 3 meetings and good faith compromises on both sides. We also reach out to the neighbors and the West Broadway Neighborhood Association who reported no concerns on the proposal. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Haley Dillon, Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Paul Sullivan, on behalf of City Council Lodge, Michael Flaherty. While it's Council Flaherty's position to oppose relief under Article 68, this is a matter where we would otherwise have yet more unoccupied commercial space on West Broadway. Under the circumstances and continued community process, the council would like to lend its support.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Tyrone.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry, I came in late on this one. I'd like
The
to.
meeting is now, Karen, thank you. The meeting is now adjourned.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice night.